Good morning. My name is Erin Friday. I'm the co-lead of Our Duty. When my daughter was 13, she was secretly socially transitioned by her school. I pulled her from the public school and got her the help that she needed, and she returned to comfort in her female body. I found out what the school was doing before the identity completely solidified. Other parents are guaranteed to not be so lucky if AB 1955 becomes law. Schools will be mandated to deceive parents. We knew this bill was coming. The transgender lobby and author Chris Ward recognized that the lawsuits are being decided in favor of parental rights and teachers' First Amendment rights. So they did one of their favorite tricks, a gut and amend bill that makes it easier to pass an unconstitutional bill. They shortened the time for opposition and bypassed a public hearing in the House of Origin. This is California democracy. If AB 1955 passes, schools will be required to alter their language, the names and pronouns used for a student depending upon to whom they are speaking. This is called compelled speech, which is a violation of the First Amendment. But the Democrats in this administration don't care about the supreme law of the land. This bill violates the 14th Amendment, the rights of parents to raise their children. But again, the Democrats don't care. This administration only cares about the lobby groups like Equality California and the Teachers Association and numerous nonprofit transgender groups that are taking gobs of taxpayer funds to create little trans-identified children that will feed the never-satisfied medical complex. These politicians continue to attack parental rights because they are marionettes moving on cue by their overlords, the transgender industry. Our children are their sacrificial lambs. California Democrat lawmakers want to transition your child. They want to make sure that all distressed youth are affirmed in their self-hatred and rejection of their natural bodies. They need to keep the pipeline of gender dysphoric kids ever growing. To do so, they must remove the parents from the equation. They must ensure that schools affirm the heinous lie that children can be born wrong, that humans can change sex, that sorrow can be resolved with a surgeon's knife. AB 1955 will not only push parents out and remove any remaining trust in California's public schools, but it will protect the monsters, the groomers, the sickos, the teachers like the two teachers in Spreckles Unified School District who spied on middle schoolers' iPads to find disciples for their transgender club. This bill will protect teachers like an Elk Grove teacher who is inviting third graders to join his club to talk about sex and gender. This bill will protect the teachers at Encinitas Unified School District that is using fifth graders to groom kindergartners, children recruiting children. This bill will protect Roseville Unified School District that rates parents on a scale of 0 to 10 whether they are affirming their children. It will protect the Chico Unified counselor who told an 11-year-old to lie to her mother. AB 1955 will protect the teachers that straight up lie to parents. It will protect the schools that create shadow and secret files. It will protect the teachers that distribute chest compressors, penis packers, trans tape, and information on how and where to get the first fix of cross-sex hormones. This is the queering of California. The system designed to sterilize the vulnerable children, to strip them of their body parts, to remove them from reality. It is in place now. And it is somehow we the parents, we who want our children to grow up with their natural bodies, wanting to give them every opportunity for life's joy, a normal sex life, children of their own, physical and mental health. We are the abusers, not the ones who want to steal our children's fertility. We are the ones who must be lied to. Did you know that none of the 15 parents informed about their children's trans identity under the parental notification policy at Chino Valley School District abuse their children? None of those parents who were informed about their children's trans identity kicked them out of their homes? This is another lie that is told by Tony Thurman and Rob Bonta to score political favors with the trans activist groups doling out the money and endorsements. Parents need to pull their children from public school and homeschool them. Teachers, be brave, be moral. Even if 1955 is enacted, tell the parents about their children's gender identities, regardless of what this law says. Don't lie to parents. Thank you.
My name is Arthur Delormier. I am the Chief of Pediatric Gastroenterology at the University of California Medical Center, a clinical professor, and I care for trans-identified patients. My comments are strictly my own opinion as a pediatrician and a California native, and are not intended to represent the position of the University of California. A transgender child is a child with a gender identity disorder or gender dysphoria under the current Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. The dysphoria is characterized by a child's severe and persistent discomfort with his or her sex. Until about a decade ago, gender dysphoria afflicted fewer than 0.01% of the population, and mostly young males. That figure began increasing exponentially right around the time schools started teaching that a person can be born in the wrong body. The social media has also helped push a massive surge of adolescents, mostly females, into adopting transgender identities. Dr. Lisa Littman coined the term rapid onset gender dysphoric kids and linked the increase to social contagion. Last year, Reuters reported that in 2016 there were 1,000 kids, California kids, diagnosed with gender dysphoria. By 2020, that number had tripled, and that increase continues to steadily climb. Nothing in medicine increases like that without external influences. The Cass Review, published last month, is the largest systematic review in the world regarding gender dysphoric youth. The report raises significant concerns about social transitioning of minors, like using new names, pronouns, etc., stating that the transition is not a neutral act, but a profound psychological intervention with potentially irreversible consequences. The Cass Review also noted that dysphoria is often combined with other acute mental health issues that must be addressed. Dr. Cass found that the quality of the evidence to transition minors was, quote, disappointingly poor. New court documents reveal that a Johns Hopkins 2020 review reached the same conclusion, but the World Professional Association of Transgender Health blocked its publication. Parents must be involved with their gender dysphoric children at the inception of the adoption of a new identity. Schools should not conduct psychological interventions or identities without parental consent. Parents play the most vital role in the physical and mental wellness of their children. Gender dysphoric youth are at a greater risk of suicide than their peers from the distress of the dysphoria itself, not from being unaffirmed. Keeping the behavior of these vulnerable children secret from their parents is ill-advised at best. I urge you to oppose AB 1955 in any form. I'm available for questions.
I'm going to call up Beth Bourne.
Hi, good morning. My name is Beth Bourne. I'm a lifelong Democrat and I consider myself a liberal. But after my family was impacted, I became aware that the Davis school system and the entities promoting a set of beliefs I do not agree with and believe are indeed very harmful to the young people exposed to them. I am not alone in this belief, and I am not alone among left-leaning, lifelong Democrats in this belief. I wanted to do something about it because I've always believed that it's important to speak out when something is not right and people are being harmed. Last week, right before Memorial Day weekend, AB 1955 was amended to strip local boards of their authority and mandate that all school districts keep secrets from parents. California schools should provide transparency to parents. Rather than hide the gender curriculum that was taught in our science classes and our health classes and even earlier in the kindergarten through 6th grade schools, I'm asking our public schools to let parents know what's actually being taught to our children. Just as an example, I brought what's being taught at the Davis schools, and this is part of the California Health Connected curriculum that all kids are being taught. So I was able to attend my daughter's gender identity curriculum class being taught at her junior high. She learned that there were 13 different gender identities. She learned she could be pangender, agender, trigender, bigender, genderqueer, gender fluid. She learned she could be two-spirited. She learned that sometimes doctors make a mistake when they assign the sex of babies, and that you would find out later based on your preferences and your interests that you could actually be someone born in the wrong body and be transgender. Here are some of the photos that were taught to my daughter. These are the same photos that are being used throughout California schools. My daughter learned that depending on where she is on the spectrum, she might possibly be a trans man. And the example that was shown to her was these two women that have both had top surgery, so bilateral radical mastectomies, and you can see the scars under their chest. My daughter was taught that she could become a trans man, still be pregnant with a beard. She was also taught she could look like this woman here. These photos have very strong impact on children. My daughter's also showed videos in her classroom. None of this curriculum is available on our school district website. So parents have no idea how deep this indoctrination is going in their child's school. This is a health curriculum that's actually adopted by our California Department of Education. Many of you might have seen the article in the Sacramento Bee a few weeks ago about my daughter. It was on the front page of the Sacramento Bee. And what the story tells is about the estrangement between my daughter and me, about her, her transgender identity. But if you look at the pictures, and there's 5 pages of photos of my daughter and me, and you'll see that my daughter, who thought she was a trans boy, and she wanted the testosterone, she wanted the puberty blocker, she wanted the top surgery, but you'll see in these photos that she grew out of her trans identity, and she's becoming comfortable in her body as a woman. And so it's so important that the parents are part of this equation, because I was able to let my daughter know that, no, you need to be 18. We're going to let you grow up and be a healthy person, and we'll see what happens. But if you triangulate the parents from what's happening in the school with the teachers and the school counselors, then how can a parent care for their child? So just thank you all for being here today.
Thank you all. We're all going to go over to the swing space, which is 1021, and it's room 2100. It's time to fight AB 1955. Let's go, team.